Welcome to Straight Outta Scripture, a nod to my West Coast roots, and a daily dive into who God is and to who we are in Him. Today we are going to be discussing how the Promised Land may not always look how we think it's going to. Entering the Promised Land doesn't always look the way we imagined it. The Israelites' story in the book of Joshua reminds us that even when God's promises are fulfilled, they often arrive with unexpected challenges and responsibilities. We often think that the promise means ease, comfort, and sudden breakthrough, but in reality, the Promised Land isn't the end. It's just the beginning of a new chapter of trust and obedience. When the Israelites finally entered the land of Canaan, they didn't walk into paradise where everything was handed to them. They had to fight for every inch of land. In Joshua chapter 1 verse 9, God tells Joshua to be strong and courageous. Why? Because even though the promise was guaranteed, they still had battles to fight and enemies to drive out. God fulfilled his word, but the fulfillment came with new challenges. Sometimes the promises of God require us to step into seasons that still demand effort, faith, and persistence. Promised Land may not look the way you thought because it requires responsibility and stewardship. It's easy to assume that when God answers a prayer or opens a door, everything will fall into place effortlessly. But the truth is, the blessing requires you to grow. It stretches your capacity. You learn even more on challenges and how to rise to the occasion. What God gives you isn't just a gift, it's an opportunity to partner with Him for even greater things. So consider this: the manna stopped falling when they entered the promised land, according to Joshua chapter 5, verse 12. What sustained them in the wilderness wasn't going to sustain them in the promise. They had to learn to cultivate land, harvest crops, and build homes. God's promises sometimes mean learning to walk in a new level of maturity where you're no longer dependent on daily miracles, but God can give you guidance in your work. The promised land also didn't come without disappointment. Some tribes of Israel received portions of land that didn't seem as desirable as others, but each person had to trust that what God provided was exactly what they needed, even if it didn't look the way that they expected. So when you step into your own promised land, don't be surprised if it challenges you. The promise is not about the end of struggles, but it's the start of becoming who God intended you to be in that place. What He promised you might come wrapped in challenges, but those challenges are part of the process. And the good news is just as God was with Israel every step of the way, He will walk with you through every challenge, helping you to possess the promise in ways you never imagined. I hope you guys enjoyed this word today. As always, I hope you have a great rest of your day. I will talk to you soon, and God bless you.